Well, hello. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Weekly Grind with Jim Serace. I'm Larry Milton Jr., and I'm so excited to continue our conversations as we've been doing every week. You know, we've been talking about the greatness in people, Jim, but now let's shift and talk about success. What's your definition of success?
Larry, that's a heck of a question. And in my business, we literally have hundreds of young people that work for us, and over the years I've mentored a lot of them, and it seems as though that's a question that they always ask, like what things would help them be successful. One of the first things I respond back with a question. I say, well, what does success look like to you? And boy, you get a variety of answers. What I do see a lot, though, is people that are very frustrated over what they don't have rather than what they do.
Wow.
And so to me, that my overall answer is this, is I tell them, for me to be successful, there's four things. One, pray, be grateful, be generous, be humble, and of course, work your butt off, right? So, but what I want to talk about maybe a little bit on this segment is gratefulness, having an attitude of gratitude. The, gratefulness really involves, I would say, humility as well, being humble. None of us, no matter what you achieve in life, are self-made. But I see a lot of people that become successful and they become so full of themselves, like it was them all by themselves. And, they didn't need anybody, that they did it. And, in the Bible, and I often make references to the Bible. And in the Bible, it says that God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. I don't know about you, Larry, but absolutely, I never want to be in a position where the God of the universe opposes me, right? There's enough trouble in the day all by itself. So now, again, I have a business, a secular organization, but again, I always challenge my people with biblical references. Like there is a story in the Bible where Jesus and his disciples are walking through the land, and they happen to be confronted by 10 lepers. Now, leprosy back then was worse than AIDS, worse than, COVID-19, as contagious as that is today. In fact, people were actually outcasts. In fact, they threw them out of town if they had leprosy. And so what Jesus did is he actually called the lepers to come towards him. It probably freaked out his disciples, for sure. But as they were coming towards him, what Jesus told them to do is go and these lepers are actually crying out to Jesus to be healed, because they figured, hey, this is a guy that, healed blind eyes, deaf ears hear, crippled people walk. So certainly he can help us, right?
Right.
And so, as they were coming towards him, Jesus said simply this. He said, just leave and go show yourself to the people in town. That was all he said. And as the lepers were on their way, following Jesus' instructions, they were all healed. One of them came back, and as passionate as his plea was for Jesus to heal him, he was just as passionate in coming before Jesus and thanking him for that healing. So this is what Jesus said. Jesus says, wasn't there 10 that was healed? And only one came back to thank him. I find a lot of times today in our society that, it might be just that people lack that gratefulness. And, they don't look at the things that have been done for them or the blessings that they currently have. And I heard it once said that if you want to find gratefulness, you have to look in the dictionary. And one of the things maybe I'll end with is, again, I constantly challenge our people. And one of the things I challenged them with one day was this. It says, whether you believe in God or not, or whether you believe in prayer or not, just try this. Just every day, write a note to remind yourself, but pray these three things. One, just thank God. Be grateful to him for what you have. Two, ask him for more, because we do have a God of more. He's always about wanting to give us more. And 3, the most important part of that is ask him to help you be trustworthy in order to hold the more.
That's the truth. I mean, I really believe that is the key to success. And Jim, I just want to thank you again for giving us some more insight and knowledge as you do every week. And I want to thank all of our viewers for tuning into the Weekly Grind on It's About You. But the conversation isn't over. We'll be back next week, but we'll also be on YouTube. So go to youtube.com/The Weekly Grind with Jim Surace, and we're here to motivate you. You can also email us at jimweeklygrind@gmail.com. Again, thank you, Jim, and we'll talk to our viewers next week.